Let's try that. Does people hear me now? We'll have to start again. Thank you so much for letting me know that it was on mute. I don't want to do a whole show with it being on mute. Don't know why that was. Let's adjust that. We can hear everything. Sam, that's good. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever we are in the world. I always say this. People ask me why I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I say it because I'm aware now that there are many people around the world watching, listening, and commenting. So you may see this now. You may watch it later. You can't hear me. What do you mean you can't hear me? Of course you can hear me. Of course you can hear me now because I can see the, yep, you can hear me. Turn your volume up, Terrence. So where am I? Yeah, so it's just acknowledging other people around the world and not just people in the UK or people in Ireland or people in France, but from around the world. So those who know me know now that I'm quite a straight shooter. I will not be holding back my tongue. There's lots to talk about. We've got a short space of time to cram a lot of stuff in. I'm aware that Macronelli and Jones are fighting, but I'm not going to watch the undercard. I'm just going to wait until whenever that fight starts. So I'll rush through things quickly. Good evening or good afternoon, Stuart. Good afternoon, Jerry Boyd. Good afternoon, Alan Hurst. Who else have we got in the room? Let's check and see. I think Tindy's in the room as well. Tindy, are you there? You're there as well. Great. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me. And let's get straight into things. First and foremost, this is not a pay-per-view event, although Eddie Hearn would like to sell it as a pay-per-view. This surely is not a pay-per-view event. When Lennox Lewis and Gary Mason fought, for those of you who've been watching boxing for a little time, Lennox Lewis fought Gary Mason. He was 15 fights European champion. If I'm right, Gary Mason was British champion, ranked number 4 in the world. I believe his world title shot was going to be, I think at the champion was the time was either George Foreman or George Foreman was just above him in the ratings. I can't quite remember. Don't quote me on that, but Mason was ranked number 4 in the world. He'd beaten Tyrell Biggs. He knocked Tyrell Biggs out in the same round that Tyson knocked Tyrell Biggs out. I remember there was a big talk about Mason fighting Tyson, regardless of who you thought would have won that fight. A lot of people said Tyson would have won the fight, and probably would agree with you. But you know, regardless, those two fought on BBC TV. Well, 15 years ago, I don't know. They fought on British television. BBC. It's about 8, 9 o'clock at night. And I think that fight was at the Royal Albert Hall or no, it was at Wembley, I think. Those two guys fought. That was not pay-per-view. When you talk pay-per-view, you know, I'd like to think it's either a unification match. That makes sense. 2 world champions, 2 proven fighters, 2 people, superstars in the sport. You know, when Tyson fought Holyfield, when Mayweather fought Pacquiao, okay, those are pay-per-view events. No disrespect to Anthony Joshua and Dillian Whyte. They're both prospects. They've beaten nobody of note, neither of them, the pair of them. They may go on to beat people of note, but that doesn't make them pay-per-view. And they're top of the bill in a British title fight. I didn't care you tell me, oh, it's get them in the top 10. They ain't fighting no one in the top 10. They're both fighting guys. They're both guys who fought nobody in the top 10 bar themselves. You know, you've got one Olympic champion versus a guy who fought a good kickboxing career, but hasn't proven anything in the ranks with Joshua as well. So that's how I look at the top of the bill. I'll break it down very quickly to you. I went back and watched the fight between Dillian Whyte and Brian Minto. I ain't paying for it, Jerry Boy says. I went back and watched Minto versus Dillian Whyte. I don't advise anybody to go back and watch that fight. Now, Dillian says he was injured. His left shoulder didn't as able to use the jab. One thing is sure, Dillian Whyte does have his jab down by his side or by his waist, by his hip. I don't know if he'll bring his hands up for the fight against Joshua. One thing is quite clear here, that when Minto put Dillian Whyte on the back foot, when he put Dillian Whyte on the back foot, Dillian Whyte didn't look as impressive. And when actually Minto was throwing punches, Whyte was getting caught when he was throwing down punches. Then if you look now at Joshua, now I'm not, and I'll go into the Joshua thing in a minute, I'm not on the Joshua bandwagon. Anybody who knows me knows that. It's not hating, it's just not on the bandwagon. It's just, he's not proven yet. When you watch when Joshua fought Cornish, opposition again, it's not great. Whyte's going to be better than Cornish. I'm not comparing the two. But when Cornish actually decided to make a move, Joshua was there to counter and drop Cornish. It's not just power I'm talking here. Speed, power, movement, accuracy, timing. These things are all important. And I think Dillian Whyte, that if he's going to win this fight, I think he wins it after 4 rounds or after 6 rounds. And I'll tell you why. I think Joshua, his body structure, if it's a 12-round fight, name me one heavyweight in the world that is built like Anthony Joshua, who's dominated a heavyweight division. They will say, oh, he's big, he's muscular, he's massive, he's a monster, he's a beast mode. Let's go back in history. Let's even go back to Ali's days. Was anyone who was built like that become heavyweight champion of the world and stay heavyweight champion of the world? Look at George Foreman, lean. Ali was lean. Do you understand? Tyson, I mean, he was short and squat. That's fine. There are more people that look body structure like Dillian Whyte who've gone on to be world champion. Then there we go. We've just mentioned Frank Bruno. And what was Frank Bruno's biggest problem? When Bruno was, go back and watch Bruno's career, when Bruno was knocking everybody out, then he met a guy called Jumbo Cummins, caught him with the chin with a big right hand, and Bruno just staggered. Done it. And I think Bruno got taken back to the corner. Right? Klitschko's not built like that, Alan. He's not built like that. Klitschko built with lean muscle. Lean muscle. Joshua is pure. He's like built like a body. And you've got to ask yourself, Klitschko's done the 12 rounds. And if you look at Klitschko even, he tires. If you look at the fight he has against Jennings when he's pushed, he tires. He tired badly against Fury as well. My concern about Joshua is in the second half of any fight, will the lactic acid start to build in those muscles? Will he start to tire? Will he start to tire? That's the problem. I didn't think Frank had a bad chin. What Frank's problem was when he got hit with a big shot, his powers of recuperation was the problem. He didn't recover well. You look at Mike Tyson when he hit him with them shots, even the big uppercut that Tyson hit him with in the second fight, and even the first fight where he took his head off his shoulders in Vegas. Bruno didn't go down. Bruno stayed out. So I don't think Bruno's got a chin problem. I think Bruno had a stamina problem. I think Bruno he didn't know how to survive because all of his career, it was knocking guys out. And when he had to survive, he didn't know how to survive. So he wasn't taught those survival skills from young or from, before. And he had a good trainer. There's some trainers. I know my trainer, who used to train Steve Robinson, I'd never been knocked down, but he taught me when you go down what to do. Spin you around 10 times and then teach you how to get up because you're giddy. How you deal with being giddy. People put blindfolds on. How to deal with being giddy. That never was taught with Bruno. So back to my point now, Joshua and Whyte. If Whyte can take up what Joshua's got, if he can take what Joshua's got, absorb it for first 6, and I actually believe if Whyte can get in and start throwing body shots, I believe Whyte wins it down the stretch. But early doors, first 4, first 5 maybe, I'm going to give to Joshua because I think that he's got a faster hand and foot. I think he's got better counter punching abilities. And so far between the two guys, when a guy is actually charging them, Joshua's looked more comfortable counter punching. And he has better, for me, boxing fundamentals. So I'm going to go with a better guy with better boxing fundamentals, guy that sits behind his jab, works behind his jab, the guy that when a person attacks him, he knows how to counter. So I'm going with Anthony Joshua. That's a good point, Ingram, to be fair. I'm going by a 7-year-old opinion. I was a kid. Yeah, I used to believe the same thing too. The story about Anthony Joshua being on steroids. So people are saying he's built really bad, he's built really big and stuff. Got to ask yourself the question. So many people ask the question about him being on steroids. He's a big guy. And, you ask the question about him. Why not ask the question about David Haye? Why not ask the question about Vladimir Klitschko? Now, these are 3 big guys, 3 big earners. I've always had this belief I'm not accusing any of those three guys of being on steroids. But what I am saying is this: when you're a man that's bringing a lot of money, I think that the rules can be bent. I'll say it as that. But these people step out of line, they get exposed. So I think they play the game right. That's what I think. But who knows? Is Joshua on steroids? There are a lot of people asking the question. Dillian Whyte's even asking the question. So, you know, but if I were Dillian Whyte, I wouldn't just be asking the question. I would demand that Joshua got tested before I got in the ring with him. You're playing with your life. So AJ is the only one caught selling horse steroids, is he? I don't know about that. The other thing is the story of AJ and his past. Listen, I don't know how many fighters I know that hadn't had a dodgy past. Okay, Tyson had a dodgy past. What? Tyson have a dodgy past? I think Evander Holyfield bit somebody in the Olympics, or in a fight he bit somebody. You know, everyone's got a bit of a dodgy past. So I think it's quite hypocritical. People saying, "Oh, Josh has got a dodgy past." Yeah, so what? People have got dodgy pasts. So I don't get caught up in that. All I'm interested in is Anthony Joshua, the boxer. Okay, so that's where it stands. And on the point of hypocriticalness and stupidity, the sports personality of the year, I will touch on this. I haven't made much of it, but I will make it on now. Tyson Fury being stripped by the IBF, absolute mockery. Charles Martin and Glasgow, they paired them together on the same night, couldn't beat Tyson Fury. Glasgow needs judges to win his fights. Just look at the fight against Cunningham and look at the fight against Malik Scott. Charles Martin hasn't proven anything yet. He can punch, but he's proven nothing yet. So I don't know why those two are fighting for the IBF title. So it's a mockery. The IBF is a mockery. As for the BBC, do I have to start? We can talk about Jimmy Savile, the amount of ring of paedophiles that are found within the BBC. I'm not saying that. That's what you're seeing. Okay? And we could go on and on and on and on and on and on. Now, if this is the sports personality of the year, you haven't missed much, mate. Gav, you haven't missed much. Sports personality of the year. So I figure sporting achievement, well, Vladimir Klitschko was reigning champion for, what, 10, 11 years? He was about to make a record-breaking, was it 23rd or 22nd or 23rd defense of the title? So we've got sporting achievement. Tyson Fury's gone away from home. Most experts, the same experts you're going to tune into tonight to listen to, said Tyson would get knocked out, destroyed, wasn't in the same class. Now, I've pulled up some of those experts that were on BaylorIC TV. Abel Sanchez, what's his name? Tommy Brooks, Bermain Stavern. So I've gone round. The only one I haven't got yet, James Ali Bashir, the assistant trainer of Vladimir Klitschko. The only one I haven't got yet is In This Corner podcast. I'm coming for them as well. But at the end of the day, I don't know, experts, these same experts that we're listening to, I've lost my train of thought completely. But anyway, sports personality of the year. So sport and achievement, done. Now we're looking at personality. Now, if you put all those people in the room, honestly, all those people in the room that Tyson's with, take Tyson out of the room a second. How many of them have got personality? Yes, Lewis Hamilton's done great with his racing his car around the track. And I'm not knocking him because, you know, my family, part of my family from Grenada, and Lewis Hamilton's family is from Grenada. And, you know, fair kudos to Lewis to do that. So big up to Lewis Hamilton for that. But end of the day, which of those personalities have got YouTube absolutely going ballistic over, obviously, the Batman thing with Tyson Fury promoting this sport? He's gone over there, and again, back to those experts. Those experts thought he would never win the fight against Klitschko. Those same experts you're going to listen to tonight. He's gone over there and beaten a long reigning world champion, numero uno, number one. Everybody banked on Klitschko to win the fight. He was the number one fighter. He was the best fighter in the world. One of the greatest fighters of all time. Sports personality of the year. So based on sports personality of the year, if you're going down the route of sports personality of the year, he's the only person The only person in that room of people that have got personality and made a great sporting achievement. Great sporting achievement. That he's taken on somebody who's considered by many experts as one of the greatest heavyweights ever. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I never said that. That's what a lot of people are saying, right? Saying experts. Go back and play the tapes before the fight. Go back and play the tapes. These same experts. So for BBC, and if you're listening, BBC to say sports personality of the year, and then exclude Tyson Fury for his comments outside of sports personality of the year. Sports personality of the year. His achievements in the sport, in the ring, personality that is attached to what he does inside the ring and what he does to attract people to the sport. It has to be Tyson Fury. So I don't hear anything else. I don't. And if this, who is this politician that's jumped on the back of Tyson Fury? For me, just sounds like he's jumping on the back of Tyson Fury. That's all he is. Just jumping on the back of, oh, sign this petition. Sign this petition. Why don't we look into your background and your life and see what you've done and see how you'd like it if somebody signed a petition for the things that you've done in your life? I just hope that this politician that's gone and got people to sign a petition, that he actually is able to deliver himself in his own constituency. So we'll leave it as that. Well said. People, let's see, going here. Jerry Boy says BBC is a gay mafia. Terence Talbot says blatantly biased corporation. Alan Hurst says fully agreed, Ingram, the only one with personality. Jerry Boy says none. Tyson was the only person on TV with personality, including the non-sports shows. Agreed. Shabarank says has to be Fury. He stands at head and shoulders above the rest. He does. Terence Talbot says Tyson. Stuart Howe says, well said. Fury makes me laugh. Absolutely awesome for sport. Makes me laugh a lot. Gaz says, people don't want Tyson to be the one with all the attention because his face doesn't fit the PC world we live in these days. And Terence Talbot says, jumping on the back of Tyson Fury. Yeah, exactly. Now, let's go a little step further. Sports personality of the year coming out of the traveling community. Oh, do they want that? Do they really want a traveler winning the sports personality of the year? Do they want that also in terms of a gypsy? Do they want that stuff? Let's be real here. I don't know. I haven't checked the history of the British Broadcasting Corporation, but I would like to know what their history is with the gypsy community. I'd like to know if they've been bashing the gypsy community. I'd like to know, or the traveling community, and what their views are of the traveling community, and how they've portrayed them in the past for them to now have the king of the throne being a traveler. That's my concern. You see, that's what I'd like to see. I think they're scared of Tyson Fury and what he brings. Now, Tyson Fury has always been this way. He's always been this way. And I want to say something else as well. Being politically correct, I'm saying that as a black man. Look at me here. Being politically correct is teaching people to lie. That is what being politically correct is. That's what it is. It's a lot of nonsense. I'd rather you come to my face and tell me I don't like you because you're black. At least we're honest. I know where I stand with you. You know where you stand with Tyson Fury. He says, look, you know what? I don't have a problem with gays, but it's not my kind of thing. That's his person. That's what he thinks. That's his opinion. That's it. Well, I'd rather him be real and honest and look me down the eye and say, you know what? This is how I feel. And this is where my faith is. And this is where I stand. He's been honest and he's been persecuted for it. So let me ask you another question. You people that are going along who want to sign petitions, are you aware the freedom of speech in this country or in the UK? That's what when you want to speak about what your belief system is or what you don't agree with. You have a freedom of speech in this country. When you start castrating and persecuting people like Tyson Fury, what you're basically saying, there isn't a freedom of speech. There is a limitation of speech. You can say what we want you to say. It is better to lie about what your belief system is than to come out in Front Street and talk about it. It is about lying. And that's what it's about. That's a fact. Politically correct means to lie. To say something to somebody in their face, but really means something else. And the English language has always got that undertone of indirect racism and prejudice. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you that. I see it all the time. Right? So I don't want to hear no more about politically correct. It's teaching people to lie. That's what it is. So I'll stand up and call, I'll stand up wherever I stand up and say, politically correct is teaching people to lie. And if you stand by the thing of this is a free country and free speech, then allow Tyson to say what he's got to say. And if you're really standing by sports personality of the year, and if that's what you stand by the criteria of sporting achievements and personality, there's no one better than Tyson Fury. End of. But if BBC don't give it to Tyson Fury, then you know that the sports personality of the year is based on some political, bullshit. So I have to say that's what it is. So that's where it is about that. No, I don't need to listen to Spencer Ferron. It's just the way it is. So that's just the way it is. That's how I feel. That's where it is. The common denominator between myself and Spencer Ferron, just look, you don't have to go much further than that. So I'm just speaking it as it is. So we just leave it as it is. And that's where I am with that. So people want to know what I feel about the whole politically correct thing. That's where it is. Listen, where I live in Ireland, I see travelers every single day. And I talk to them like family. No issues, no problems. But it's about people. It's not about colour. It's not about colour. It's about the content of your heart. Regardless of what colour you are, there's good and bad in all of us. Right? There's good and bad in all of us. Okay? And, you know, if you want to talk about character, these people in the newspapers and the media that lie to us constantly and put propaganda and put division between people, between one set of people and another set of people, and propagating fear and propagating this and that. What about those people? What about we write about and put a petition about them? There should be a petition about the sort of people that encourage a sort of racist behavior and politically correct behavior. What about doing a petition about that? They won't like it, so let's leave it there. Jerry Boy says, look at the video Scrawny to Brawny made about Tyson Fury, Warrior for Jesus. Stuart House says, I don't care if you're gay, black or what. I like people for who they are. If you're an idiot, I won't like you. Everybody has a right to on their own views. I don't agree with Tyson saying what he said, but one of two. PC is just BS, spot on. It's just teaching people to lie. I don't believe there's freedom of speech in the UK, because when you do air your views, you just end up in hot water indeed. Stuart Howe continues, respect Fury for being totally honest. Can't go wrong with honesty. Terrence Talbot says, I just saw that in an interview. He says, Holy Roller TV says, BaylorIC on fire, spitting flames. Cheverang says, no one should be taking that Scott Cuthbertson seriously. Guy's just a loser. This is the best show by far. Very well done. Well said, Ingram. Look, you just have to see things for what they are. And if people could stand up and see things for what they are, is tonight a pay-per-view event? No, it's not a pay-per-view event. Another thing, another absolute load of crap. Now look, bless Eddie Hearn, yeah? He's doing what he does as a promoter. He's doing what he does as a promoter. But please, don't look down the camera. This is lies again. Don't look down the camera and tell me, the paying public, paying you, that anybody Anthony Joshua hits, they'll go. Absolute rubbish. Because Dillian Whyte's made a clear point that when Joshua hits people, that, you know, the referee stops. You don't see Joshua knocking people out cold, right? And I want to make a point here. This is a very important point. Mike Tyson, George Foreman, Ernie Shavers. Those are three of the biggest punches in heavyweight history. Let me add Lennox Lewis to that as well. 4. Let's add Vitaly Klitschko to that. 5. You want to add Shannon Briggs in there? 6. Those all heavyweights that fall at the highest level. And even they went 12 rounds. Okay? So eventually you'll go 12 rounds. Eventually, no matter who you are in the world. Gennady Golovkin's going to go 12 rounds eventually in his career. Kovalev went 12 rounds. Julius Jackson, a phenomenal puncher, went 12 rounds. You're going to go 12 rounds. That's going to happen. So, David Hay, Vladimir Klitschko. Eventually, you go 12 rounds. So, so there you go. I'll leave it as that. I don't believe Eddie Hearn and what he said, half the things he says. And if you go back, it's quite funny because there's a video on YouTube at the moment that's got Eddie Hearn. Check it out; it's very funny. And I think it's when he had Carl Frampton promoting Carl Frampton. He called Carl Frampton the best in the world. He destroyed Scott Quigg. Then he left. Frampton left him, and he got Scott Quigg. And he said, Scott Quigg, he's the best in the world. He destroyed Carl Frampton. Make him out of Eddie. It's either he's going to destroy Carl Frampton or he's not. So that's where we go with that. So moving forward, Spike O'Sullivan, Chris Eubank Jr. You know, I tell you what's funny about this fight. Again, if you listen to the experts, they'll say, well, Eubank will win the fight. Yeah, he'll win the fight in the middle rounds and win late rounds. You know, he'll win on points. He's got the better skill level, but Spike's got a puncher's chance. But Spike, to me, when you turn around and say, but Spike's got a puncher's chance, is that you're leaving the door open just in case the possibility that Spike might cause the upset. But if you know that your man Eubank's got a rock solid chin, like, you know, Eubank against Ben, you know he's proven. But if you're saying he's got power, possibility. See, for me, I think tonight's fight. Oh, did I explain how I said Joshua Whyte goes? I did. I think tonight's fight is. I think Spike is setting down a tone that, you know what, is kissing Eubank Jr. He's letting Eubank Jr. know, I'll do what I want when I like, how I feel. Okay, I'm letting you know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna let you know when I come here, I'm coming to your backyard, and I'm aware I'm coming to your backyard. All right? Spike's gonna be done no favors whatsoever. I understand this. No, the guy tonight is Eubank Jr. Eubank Jr. is the guy moving forward. They want Eubank Jr. They don't want Spike to win this fight. I understand this. And if it's a close fight, they'll give it to Eubank Jr. There's no way they're going to give it to Spike. Now, my thoughts are this. I think Spike is going to get inside of Eubank's head to make Eubank come forward. I don't believe Eubank is a good fighter coming forward. I don't. You see, if you go and look at the fight he had against Chudinov, you look at when he fight Saunders, when he comes forward, he leaves himself open to counters. He overstretches at times. And even when he's up close, you look when he throws barrages his punches. When a person tucks up against Eubank, he punches, but his chin is way up in the air all the time. Okay? So, for me, I think Spike's got a great chance of winning tonight. I think he's got a great chance of winning tonight if he sticks to a game plan. He's wound Eubank up, and Eubank is going to come flying out the traps, I think. You know, so I think I'm going with Spike. I'm going, and again, I don't think Chris Eubank Jr. is that great a fighter. Take his father away. Take the father away. Forget about Chris Eubank Sr. Take him away, right? And just concentrate on Junior. What makes him so great? What exactly makes him great? Not a massive puncher. You know, he's got the work rate, fine. But it's okay having a work rate against a guy that's not whacking you back hard. He's now going to be fighting a guy who you think Junior is pretty good. Okay. I think he's okay. I think he's great. And I don't think Adam Booth at this point in time can add anything to Eubank Jr. I really don't. Because Eubank Jr.'s style is very based on his father, the way his father was. And you notice how his father wasn't great coming forward. He's not great coming forward. Eubank Jr. is much better on the back foot. So, yeah, let's see what people are saying. White Nationalist says, Cockney, wide boy, charmer, smiles while ripping you off. LOL, Hearn. Love to look on his face if the unthinkable happens. It would be funny if both Joshua and Eubank Jr. got beat tonight. It would be very, very funny. I'm not sure. I'm not sure in the history of Eddie Hearn has he had a top fighter get smashed to bits. I know he sent fighters away and got beat, but his own top fighter gets smashed to bits. It'd be very interesting to see. So I'm going with Spike O'Sullivan in the fight. Here you go. Whyte Nash says, yes, Chris Eubank Jr. has ability. I have another cheeky 81 on Spike to do it in 60 seconds, as did with Fitz. Highly unlikely, but ACHIB, especially with a puncher, catch him cold. Eubank Jr. has got power and skills and dedication, but it looks he struggled at the weight. And I think the Spike looked limited. Well, Spike had been out of the ring for a while, and then he'd come back, and he was having issues. I believe we shouldn't look too much into the fight he had against Billy Joe Saunders. I really don't. And if you look at Spike, people say he's limited. But if you look at his fight against O'Sullivan, he had his hands down by his side and was coming in with different angles. Now, to me, that's no guy that's limited. In fact, that's a guy that's can box different ways. I don't think Spike O'Sullivan is limited. The way he went out against, watch how the way he took out Fitzgerald, hit with a right uppercut, hands down by side, against a guy that was meant to give him his toughest fight of his career. This is Spike O'Sullivan's toughest fight of his career, and he came out no problems. Eubank Jr. only works for 1 minute a round. That's not going to win world titles. Well, his father was the same. But his father had more control of his career. So Spike's very limited. I don't see him doing. Whyte Nash says Spike's very limited. I don't see him doing Spike. I don't see him doing to Spike what he did to Tudor, the lesser. Oh, I'm not sure what you mean then, Whyte Nash. You have to clear that up. So yeah, I'm going with O'Sullivan in this one. It's not the view that a lot of people would stand by, but my reasons are that I think Eubank's going to come in and he's going to be wound up when he sees Spike to the point where he'll come at him. I think he'll walk onto counters. I really do. His dad was a much better fighter, in my opinion. Eubank Senior rated. Yeah, that's it. People are basing Eubank Jr. off what Senior did. That's all it is. Let me ask you this question, boxing fans. If Eubank Jr. dad was, if Eubank Jr.'s dad was Jason Gavin, no disrespect to Mr. Gavin now, what would you be saying? Sound is crackling, Ingram. That's odd. Why is that? Can you hear me still? Let me see if I can adjust the volume for you guys. Thanks for letting me know. I'll see if I can adjust it. What's this? How's the sound here, guys? Can you hear me any better now? Is it clearer now? Is the sound better, Jerry Boy? Who's Del Boy fighting? Some guy who is it still crackling? I've just adjusted it. Del Boy, Derek Chisora is fighting a guy who, yeah, I just adjusted it. Derek Chisora is fighting the guy that Dave Allen's last opponent stopped in 2 rounds. That's all I'll say there. I'm frozen. What? Do you mean I'm frozen? No, you're joking with me, Terence. Right, sound is fixed. Thank you very much for that. So thank you very much, guys. Sound like a Dalek, LOL. Right. I know I can trust you guys. So where are we now? What are we thinking about? We're talking about Chisora's fight. We'll move on. We'll move on for Chisora. He's gonna get he's a blowout there. You were frozen. Okay, next up, Masterneck versus Tony Bellew. I think Tony Bellew could be a better fighter than he is. I think that I don't know what Dave Colwell does to Tony Bellew. No disrespect to Dave Colwell. I'm sure he's a decent trainer. But Tony Bellew, in all the fights I see him in, he still doesn't know how to throw a right hand. He's always missing for a right hand. He looks too sluggish. He looks in good shape for this fight against Masvidal, and he'll need to be. I think Tony Bellew's got. I personally think Tony Bellew's got all the skills in the world to be a world champion. I don't think he's got the right fit of a trainer. I would like to see Tony Bellew throw more combination punches. I would like to see Tony Bellew pick up his feet more, instead of just trotting around the ring. I'd like to see him use a more snappier jab and a bit more energy in his work. If Tony Bellew had the same energy in his work outside the ring that he does inside the ring, he'd be a very exciting fighter. But unfortunately, when Tony Bellew gets in the ring, he can put you to sleep. And I do find his fights. I do like Tony Bellew, but I do find him very, very, very boring. Eubank will destroy Spike. Now he is with Booth. Right. Okay. Okay. Right. Moving on. Frozen. Okay. Moving on. Can somebody else please confirm to me if I'm freezing or not? Obviously, if I'm freezing, you wouldn't see me now, but I should be frozen because my camera's still going. Cool. So I shouldn't be frozen. Right. I'm going to clean this up because I've got like 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes left. Right. So, let's move on. Kevin Mitchell, we're talking about now. Kevin Mitchell is, yeah, he's talking crap, Terence. Talking about this guy, Kevin Mitchell. Kevin Mitchell, for me, has his ship has gone a long time ago. He should have beaten. He had the fight against Katsidis and West Ham, and for me, I think it's just refresh your stream. Yeah, sorry, I keep being told it's frozen. Kevin Mitchell, like I say, he fought Katsidis in West Ham, got destroyed at West Ham. Frozen here too. Press the refresh button, guys. Okay, let's push the free. Throw more combination punches. I would like to see Tony Bellew pick up his feet more. Yeah, just hit the refresh button, guys. We should be fine. Let me just finish this off very quickly. Kevin Mitchell, I think his boat has gone. He should have, the guy he should have had the world title shot and he should have beaten was against what's this guy's name? Ricky Burns. That was his best chance of winning a world title, or against Katsidis. Linares was very good. And then afterwards, he's now fighting this guy, Barroso. Even if he beats Barroso, I don't think he beats Corolla, because I think Corolla's on his way up. I think Mitchell's on his way down and out. But I think Barroso's going to do Mitchell tonight. And even if he doesn't do Mitchell tonight, I think Mitchell's finished. Let's see who else on the card. Tonight, Roy Jones, Macronelli. Roy Jones is bigger than Macronelli. Macronelli was good as a cruiserweight years ago. He still has a question about his chin. And if Roy Jones can catch him, if Roy Jones had anything left, he beats Macronelli. But at 46 years old, Macronelli can punch. I'm going to go with Macronelli, actually. I think Roy Jones is good, was good. He's 46 years old now. Roy Jones makes a lot of... Roy Jones is 46 years old. I'm going to go with Macronelli on this one. As for tonight, I'm more excited about the UFC fight tonight. And more excited about the UFC fight tonight of Aldo and McGregor. Yeah, I'm going to end this now, guys. Unfortunately, obviously, Google doesn't like what I'm doing. And the fight's up soon with Macronelli and Roy Jones. I will do a post-fight tonight, guys. I will do a post-fight video tonight as soon as Joshua and I think I'll finish fighting. I think Usyk's fighting tonight as well. So I don't know. I'll just try and do a live stream afterwards. This has been Ingram Jones. I'm really sorry if you've missed stuff out. Yeah, he better pick those feet up tonight, because if he don't, he might get knocked out. But no, I think Masnik's pretty basic. But at 1-2, he's got pretty powerful. Those are my thoughts. I'm out, guys. Take care. Enjoy the boxing.